All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we talk about the guy that, in my mind, has been the most impressive player of any at 49ers OTAs, veterans, rookies, new players, established players, everybody included. I thought this guy has looked the best of anybody down in Santa Clara. We'll tell you who that is coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them the Krug sent you. We're also brought to you by Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, on the Monterey Peninsula. Call Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. And he's a great follow on Instagram at Sharp Corners 831 on Instagram. And last but certainly not least, Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Also, thanks to them, but thanks to LearnKey Upskill Academy, an online learning platform designed to get you job ready in 6 months or less. Whether you're interested in IT, cybersecurity, could be any number of fields. They offer 30 different certification programs to help you take that next step in your career. 37 years in biz. They've helped over 200,000 students. They place about 100 every month in well-paying jobs. So the link's in the description below. LearnKey Upskill Academy, and thanks to them for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, let's talk a little bit about a guy that I think looks the best of almost any of the players that I've seen. Really, there's been a lot of guys that have been impressive at OTAs. Brock Purdy's looked good. Jawan Jennings had his great moments. Just the last couple of days, DeMarcus Robinson's been really good. Austin Pleasance has been a pleasant surprise at offensive tackle. Their young receivers with speed, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, they look good. The new tight end looks good, Luke Farrell. Tanner Mordecai looks much better in year 2 than year 1. Isaac Garendo, CJ West, Evan Anderson on that defensive line, Sebastian Valdez. You know, guys don't know that name, but Sebastian Valdez has looked impressive. D. Winters, Tatum Bethune, Stone Blanton, some linebackers, Richie Grant, Jason Pinnock, the new safeties are been impressive. So there have been a lot of guys, but the guy to me that stands out is Nick Martin. Nick Martin, the Niners' third-round pick out of Oklahoma State. And he just really does stand out. And Matt Barrows did a phenomenal piece on Nick Martin in The Athletic, and I would encourage all of you guys to read it. This guy just flies around. I mean, he plays so fast. Everything is so important to him. What you see on the field are positives. What you're hearing from the other players are positives. What you're hearing from the coaches are positives. Nick Martin checks all the boxes. He really does. And great article by Barrows. I think Nick Martin is not going to be good or very good. I think Nick Martin's going to be great. I think he's going to start opposite Fred Warner right away in front of D. Winters, even though Winters, I think, is having a good offseason in his own right. But I think Nick Martin's the real deal. And Barrows wrote a phenomenal piece about him today. I would encourage all you guys to check it out. Nick Martin, and I guess he has 3 older brothers, and I guess when they were kids, they used to fight so much their mother bought them boxing gloves so they could fight it out amongst themselves. He grew up in Texarkana, Texas, which is right there. I've been in that dusty little town. It's right there on the Texas-Arkansas border, and not a lot of shade in Texarkana, Texas. And I guess, Nick Martin was never the biggest kid on the block. But he was always a big-time hitter. Anyway, the Niners drafted him. He's 5'11". He's 221 pounds. They took him with the 11th pick in the 3rd round. And, man, they missed Dre Greenlaw bad last year. I mean, he sat out all but 34 snaps due to an Achilles injury, and the Niners, man, they missed him. They missed him badly. They really did. And it's funny because there's a quote in this article from one of Nick Martin's teammates at Oklahoma State, Kenyatta Wright. He said, "You've heard of a sideline-to-sideline guy?" He said, well, Nick is a football field guy. Wherever you are on a football field, he's going to be there. So the Niners love the kid and his athleticism and his traits, but they also love the guy. He's charismatic. He's got eclectic interests. He likes art. He likes music. He's got his own fashion line. He taught himself to play the guitar. On the, he showed up at the Niner facility. He's walking around on day one in oversized shark slippers in the locker room. He's got 10 different pairs of animal slippers that he likes to wear. And the guy's a confident guy, and he's a leader. He was a 2-time captain at Oklahoma State. And it's interesting. One of the little, Barrows is so good. He's so good. And one of the little nuggets that really does illustrate the value beyond just the physical with Nick Martin is the anecdote that Barrows got that after Martin got hurt this last year, he only played a handful of games. He injured his MCL ligament in the 5th game last season. Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 40. That guy. He petitioned the Big 12 to allow Nick Martin to travel with Oak State because that's how important Nick Martin is to their culture, to their locker room, to their meeting room, to their sideline, to them. Every time they joined up as a team, they wanted to make sure Nick Martin was there. So to me, that tells you all you need to know. This guy's a leader. This guy's more than just a fast linebacker. This guy's a leader. And, it's funny. It's, this is a guy who, grew up in a family. He was really close with his brother Chauncey, and they stayed in the same room together. It's a great piece by Barrows, and you guys should all go read it. But they grew up sharing a bedroom, and they both dreamed about playing in the NFL. They would play make-believe football, and Chauncey would get to pretend he was Ray Lewis, and Nick Martin would get to pretend he was Reggie Bush, and Reggie Bush was trying to get by Ray Lewis, and man, they loved it. And I guess all the Martin boys played football. Chauncey and Nick loved football, and they had this great bond. And Chauncey was 3 years older, or is 3 years older, so he was able to kind of find football before Nick did. He was a running back on the Pleasant Grove high school team, their team that won the first ever state championship for that high school. And his brother was the guy that he looked up to. So, it's like Nick, wanted to always outdo his brother. By his junior year in high school, Nick was playing linebacker and running back. He was leading Pleasant Grove to another state title. And yet his brother was in prison, unfortunately. His brother Chauncey and 4 other 19-year-olds were arrested for their roles in a robbery that occurred in January of 2019 in Texarkana. He was kicked off the East Texas A&M football team, Chauncey was, and sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. So while he was in prison, occasionally on a Saturday, he would watch his little brother playing college football. And I'm sure that probably helped him get through it. Now, Chauncey was released from prison. And so he's out now, and he's recreating his life and trying to remake his life and atone for his mistakes, it sounds like. And then as far as Nick goes, Nick was at Oklahoma State doing his thing, and the teammates at Oklahoma State were calling him the missile because the way he would take down ball carriers. So Nick Martin had an amazing 2023 season. He led the Big 12, 140 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 6 sacks. And, this guy he was everywhere, making plays left and right. And one of the guys on his team said his ability to get down at the point of get guys down at the point of attack was unbelievable. His speed to the ball was amazing. So, and you see it. You flip on the film, you can see the guy's speed to the ball. He's a smaller guy, but you don't see him having any problems breaking down or bringing guys down to the ground. And it's funny because you never would have thought this because they're now going to be teammates and maybe even co-starters at linebacker. But Nick Martin's favorite NFL player was Fred Warner. He had Warner's 54 jersey way before the Niners ever drafted him. And then Warner said, that since Nick Martin has shown up, he said a lot of rookies are trying to play it cool. He said Nick hasn't been like that. He's like, man, this is the quote from Fred. He's come in and asked me every single question known to man. It's like, Fred, how are you doing this? What are you doing after practice? What are you doing after lifts? And he wanted to be part of those activities. He already has the mindset of wanting to learn. So, and it's funny. It's like Nick, it sounds like as a youngster, was motivated by Chauncey, his older brother that he shared a room with, And now Chauncey is using Nick as his motivation. When Chauncey was in high school, he got a scholarship offer from Harding University, or at least an offer. I don't know if it was a scholarship, because I had Division II programs, I don't think, to offer scholarships. But Harding University was a Division II Christian school in the state of Arkansas, and he turned it down. He said, I didn't want to go because of the structure, and it was private. It was a private Christian school. I was like, man, I want to go to a school to have fun. And I ended up getting in trouble. So when Chauncey was released from prison, the offer from Harding, amazingly, was still on the table. And so he grabbed at it this time with some gratitude. He played running back for the Harding Bison for 3 seasons, and he graduated. Chauncey got his degree in business management, and now he's trying to catch on with a UFL team. And Chauncey says his little brother Nick inspired him to refocus on their shared passion for football. The quote's a beautiful thing. He says, I'm in a way better place. And Nick is some of the reason for that. Seeing my little brother accomplish all this stuff we used to talk about, it just makes me want to keep going. So that is just very, very cool. Very, very cool. And that's just a little story about Nick Martin and his brother Chauncey. But, man, what I'm seeing on the field is a guy who can run like the wind, who has great instincts, who wants to seek and destroy and be violent, who doesn't want to come in and make the team. He wants to come in and be great. He wants to come in and lead the team. This is one of the best players I've seen on the field this summer, regardless of position, or this spring. Why? Well, because he's got a motor that's unbelievable. You can see this guy's got passion for football. He wants it bad, really wants it. He's an alpha. He's a leader. He's a 2-time captain. This guy doesn't want to just be on the team or make the NFL. He wants to lead the team and star in the NFL. And then you look at the 4.53 speed. And when you have the instincts that this guy has, and you have 4.5 speed, man, that really shows itself. And then you see he's got 26 reps at 225, and you can see the strength. This is a guy who feels like King Kong, despite the fact he's 5'11", 220 on the football field. He feels like he's indestructible. And let's hear from Johnny Holland. Johnny Holland is one of my favorites. Longtime A&M linebacker, longtime NFL coach, longtime Niner linebacker coach. And, Johnny says he's very impressed by Nick Martin. And let's hear what Johnny had to say about Nick.
Johnny, what are your early impressions of Nick Martin on the practice field?
Speed. He can run, and he's violent, and he loves ball. And cat look like he can run all day, and so that's pretty impressive. And he's eager to learn and eager to do it right. And that's what we look for in a player. And it's almost, you look at him as he's no doubt he's going to be a good player. It's going to take time, and it's hard for rookies to come in and master what we do, So, hopefully he can take one step at a time and continue to get improved. And I know when he first got here, he was a little drifty, and now he take coaching so well that now he know how to trigger him, get downhill and not drift. And I know I just reminded of a play had yesterday. He was a backside buzz player. Ball was thrown 40 yards across the field, and he was full speed all the way across the field. And that kind of stuff there that's what make players really good, when they can do all the little things right all the time and not sometime, and make it a habit. And so that's one thing I try to stress with all our linebackers, that you got to make it a habit of keeping your pads low, make it a habit of breaking and driving to the ball, make it a habit of punching the ball a lot. And then in the game, I don't have to think about it. It's a habit.
There you go. A little Johnny Holland on Nick Martin. So, as I said, there's a bunch of guys, probably 20 guys that have looked really good. And the linebacking core is right in the middle of this improvement. D. Winters looks amazing. Stone Blanton has looked good. The two new guys, Blanton and Nick Martin, really look good. Tatum Bethune looks fantastic. That was the other one. Fred Warner came out, and said the Niners have a linebacker who's doing a fantastic job. And he was talking about second-year linebacker Tatum Bethune. He says he just needs to continue on the track that he's on, honestly. I think he's doing a fantastic job. I'm so happy for him and the way he's put in the work to continue to be the player that he's progressing into. He flashed last season as an undrafted free agent. For him, and this was the question I asked Fred, by the way, last week after OTAs. He said, for him, I've seen the progression not only on the field and with the schematics of everything, but with his body. The way that he's moving, the way that he looks, I think for him, it's just continuing to keep what he's doing, keep doing what he's doing. So it's interesting. It's like this is a video about Nick Martin, and Nick Martin looks fantastic. But, football teams improve when they get improvement from within. And if you look at this linebacking core, if we share the screen and I show you the depth chart of the 49er linebacking core, there's a lot to like. I mean, right now, Our Lads has the starters as Fred Warner, Nick Martin, and D. Winters, these three guys. You typically keep 5 or maybe 6 linebackers. They signed Luke Gifford as a special teamer. Chaz Surratt came in from the Jets, one of Robert Saleh's favorites. Jalen Graham was a 7th-round pick a couple of years ago. He knows the system is looking good. Curtis Robinson coming off a major injury and his best camp last year. Stone Blanton has looked really good. According to Johnny Holland, he's picking things up, and they really love what they see with Stone Blanton. Maybe even some Chris Borland comps there. And then Tatum Bethune. And, Bethune is interesting because, Bethune came out of Florida State as a very productive linebacker, 5'11", 230, and he has redone his body. You could see it last year. This guy has the instincts. He's got the mindset. He's got he's got everything you need, except he needed to find a step and a half of speed because he's a step and a half slow. And he redid his body, and Tatum Bethune looks noticeably faster. So to me, if you said, you just watched OTAs, Niners have mandatory minicamp. Give me the one player who stands out, I would say it's Nick Martin. If you said, give me the one player that's really, really improved, I probably couldn't pick one. I'd probably have to pick 3 or 4. But it would definitely be Tatum Bethune would be on that list. Tatum Bethune would be on that list for sure. Austin Pleasance has to be on that list for sure. Jacob Cowing has to be on that list for sure. And after watching practice yesterday, I'd probably have to say Evan Anderson, the second-year defensive tackle. He looks worlds better. His body looks stronger. He's kind of reproportioned his body a little bit. He's got some better weight, added some muscle, shed some fat. Evan Anderson looked good. He looked really good yesterday. I thought him and C.J. West were knocking guys back left and right. But, yeah, if there's a guy internally at linebacker, I mean, this linebacking core, I think, is good. They miss Greenlaw. There's no question. They're going to miss Greenlaw. But adding Blanton as an undrafted guy, great pick. Getting Bethune motivated and having him find a step and a half of more speed is going to make him go from special teamer to guy who can play from scrimmage. And then Nick Martin and D. Winters have improved dramatically. Winters looks worlds better as well. Martin, to me, looks even that much more powerful. The one thing, Winters is fast, and Winters knows the defense, and he's flying around. He looks good. But if you watch the Oak State film, I mean, Nick Martin brings thump. He's not just a 4 or 5 guy running around. He brings tremendous thumping, hitting ability. So, to me, that's the guy to watch, Nick Martin. There's going to be 20 guys to watch for this summer, but, man, if there's one guy that I think the 49ers have added this year between free agency, the draft, and the after-draft free agency, the trades, the signings, the UDFAs, the camp invites, of all the players that I've seen in 49er camp, the guy that to me looks like he's destined for stardom is Nick Martin. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. And, of course, thanks to our good friends at LearnKey Upskill Academy. The links are in the description below. Hit like and subscribe on your way out the door. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.